Alright guys, so this is kind of a follow-up to my while back when I started out doing these crossover pairings. One of them was Starling from Stormhawks and Wolverine from, of course, X-Men. And I kind of talked about what it would be like if those two got into a relationship. What would it be like if Starling and Wolverine had a relationship going on? And I kind of just gave out a few theories here and there of what that would be like. And yeah, I decided to do a little follow-up. Mostly because it was spurred on because my good friend Carlotta Studios, she actually now really ships the pairing. Like, that's her crossover ship now. Like, that's added to one of her Starling ships. And I think she said it's one of her major ships also. So, so that's interesting. Really glad I could help. But no, let's talk about this. Let's go a bit more of a follow-up between Logan and Starling. Now, Wolverine is, of course, he's a mutant. He's been around for a long time. He's been with hundreds of women, too many to count, in his long lifespan. But I think what would make Starling so interesting for Logan is that, much like him, she's encountered a lot of pain in her life, where she lost her entire, squadron, which you could consider, since we don't know if her family's still alive or not. That was her family. That was her only home she ever knew. And, Logan would be like, yeah, I've been there too. I've dealt with a lot of shit, and you think you got problems. I ended up killing my own dad. And it turned out that he wasn't really my dad, and I met my real dad in hell. Yep. Yeah. I feel like also the two of them wouldn't get close right away. I feel like the two of them, because again, Logan doesn't even though he's part of the Avengers, he's part of the X-Men. He's not really, not really a guy who gets close to anyone right away. He's not a person who is willing to get up to close to someone soon enough. He's more of a guy who's keeps his distance from everyone. And that's the same way with Starling. I feel like it would be like a mission the two would go on, and Starling and Wolverine would kind of chat and have a few interactions here and there. But it wouldn't be it wouldn't get serious right away. That's the big thing here, is that it wouldn't, instantly be like, oh, you want to hang out more? No, it would be more like, yep, see you around, and then probably meet up later on. But yeah, I feel like also Logan would also be very impressed with Starling's hand-to-hand combat skills, as well as her, just how tactically, sound she is as a person. Like how she can just think of a battle plan right off the bat, and she's willing to do what needs to be done. And I feel like Logan would agree with that. I feel like Logan would be like, yeah, we need, there needs to be serious action taken. So I'm with Starling. So also, Wolverine is Wolverine is also a person who is, he's very, he can be very tender with, with the people he loves. He can be very close. He can be very, if he lets you in. That's the big thing, is that if he lets you in, you're in the clear. If he lets you be a friend or a lover. And that's the same way, again, that's the same way with Starling, where she puts up those walls, but when you get past those walls, she becomes the closest of allies with you. And I feel like that would be the same way with Wolverine, is that they have a couple of walls, but after seeing each other in action, and I feel like after, meeting at a bar or something like that, or, since the X-Men and Stormhawks exist on different planets, I feel like if Logan's looking for a place to get drunk, Starling would be the person who would go, hey, I'll show you around, I know a few places. That's exactly how it would go, is that she would basically go, here, I'll show you around a few places, and, they'd get drunk together and probably talk more, they would talk more amongst themselves, more or less. What you also have to look at is that Wolverine is, I feel like Wolverine and Starling are, I feel like they would kind of take that loss and be very close with one another. That kind of collective loss they share between one another, and kind of really talk about the families they've now made. As Logan with the X-Men, as well as Starling with the Stormhawks. I feel like they would really embrace that. That kind of, yeah, we live now with we've made our own family. We've made kind of our own, respective families because we had nowhere else to go. And that's kind of the thing, is that they're both the loners. They're both, they're both the more extremes, really. They're more of the extreme members of their respective X-Men teams. So I feel like that they would connect on that level, that they live in their own makeshift families in some cases. Also, I feel like Starling, actually, excuse me, I feel like Starling would also be the one to be the first one to open up to Wolverine. I feel like she would go to Wolverine first and go, okay, look, she would be the one to go, look, you want to hang out sometime? And Logan would be like, sure, darling. Yeah, that would kind of be his response, really. But no, I feel like they would have some definite trust for each other. I feel like Wolverine could just sense that Starling can be trusted, as well as Starling could be like, yeah, this guy who runs around in yellow and blue spandex is a guy I can get behind. And yeah, there would be some serious trust between the two. I feel like Starling would probably be taller than Logan. Hell, he's a little around under 5 feet, so Logan's a shorty, so I feel like, and Starling's probably one of the tallest characters in the show, so I feel like Starling would be taller than Logan, probably. You also have to look at that, I would imagine these two would also be probably, it kind of coincides with Starling and Repton, is that there would probably be a lot of sex in this relationship. In fact, that'd probably be how they would, I hate to say it, but I feel like that's how they would kind of, after the bar scene, they would probably go back to Starling's place. That's kind of how it would go. But I feel like, Wolverine's enough of a gentleman to go like, you want to go get breakfast, or do you want me to make some eggs? I feel like he would be, Logan is a, generous enough person that I feel like he would, kind of be like that. And I feel like, Starling would be like, I don't want this to end. And Logan would be like, yeah, me either. So yeah, again, it would probably start out as like what intended to be a one-night stand, but eventually kind of grow into something a bit more between them. But yeah, these two would be, generally kind lovers. They'd also be, very, close with one another. That would be the other thing, is that they both be very close with one another. And I feel like Starling could prove to Wolverine that even though she's human, she can still kick a lot of ass. And yeah, this is a very cool crossover pairing. This was one of my first crossover pairings that I thought of. So yeah, if only they existed in the same universe. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But anyway, so hope you all enjoyed this. Also, Carlotta, I know you're watching this, so actually, since I can't do it anywhere else, I want to ask this question, if it's at all possible, as I want to make a request video, and you don't have to do it if you don't want to. Again, if you don't want to do this, it's totally fine, but I've got 2 videos in my head that I'm hoping if you have the time, keep in mind, if you have the time to do them whenever, that would be very cool. The first one is I had this idea for a Starling and Repton tribute video with the song "Eat You Alive" by Limp Bizkit. Yeah, "Eat You Alive" by Limp Bizkit. Go listen to the song if you haven't heard of it, and you'll clearly see why I think that song kind of fits Starling and Repton. Yeah, it very much does. The other music video idea I had is a Cyclonus and Perry one called, what was the song called? Shit. Now I've totally forgotten it. Man, I totally forgot the song now. It's escaped me. Oh yeah, Take Me to Church. The song's called Take Me to Church by Horizer, I think that's the name. Yeah, Take Me to Church by Horizer. That's the for Cyclonus and Perry. Anyway, again, you don't have, if you can't do these videos, that's totally fine. I just wanted to make that request, and since I figured, why not? So again, if you don't have the time, that's totally fine. I think I just rhymed again. But anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this video again. And you guys tell me, do you think Starling and Wolverine could work as a couple? Just comment below, let me know. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.